Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel. I'm 32 years old, and today I'm bringing you a story that will shake you to your core. Have you ever loved someone so deeply that you trusted them blindly, only to find out that the person you thought was your soulmate was actually your worst enemy? Now, imagine raising children for years, loving them, guiding them, making sacrifices for them, only to discover one day that they were never yours. What would you do? Walk away in silence? Forgive the unforgivable? Or unleash the kind of revenge that leaves scars forever? Well, today's story is about a husband who found out the ultimate betrayal, and how his revenge destroyed the life of the woman who thought she had fooled him. Meet Ethan, a 36-year-old hardworking man from Chicago. He had been married to his wife, Laura, for 12 years. To everyone around them, they were the definition of a perfect couple. They had 2 kids, a boy named Brian, who was 10, and a girl named Emily, who was 8. Ethan worked long hours as an architect, and Laura was a stay-at-home mom. People admired their life. A beautiful home, 2 adorable kids, family vacations, and a marriage that seemed unshakable. But beneath that picture-perfect exterior, cracks were forming. Ethan had noticed changes in Laura's behavior. She was suddenly distant, guarded, and often on her phone late at night. When he'd ask her about it, she'd brush him off with excuses. Still, Ethan trusted her. After all, this was the woman he built his life with. But trust can sometimes be the sharpest weapon used against us. It all started one evening when Ethan overheard Laura talking on the phone. Her voice was low, almost whispering, but he caught a strange phrase. He still doesn't know. Ethan froze. He wanted to believe he misheard, but something inside him stirred, a gut feeling that wouldn't let go. He began noticing little things. Ryan, his son, didn't quite look like him. His hair was darker, his features different. People often joked that Ryan looked nothing like his dad. Ethan laughed it off in public, but inside, it ate away at him. One night, unable to sleep, Ethan did something he never imagined he'd do. He went through Laura's phone, and what he found made his blood run cold. There were old messages between Laura and a man named Mark, her ex-boyfriend from college. The texts were flirtatious, intimate, and worst of all, they dated back years. Years that overlapped with the births of Ryan and Emily. Ethan's world was spinning, but he needed proof. Cold, undeniable proof. So, secretly, he bought home DNA test kits. One afternoon, while the kids were napping, he swabbed their toothbrushes and collected his own sample. He mailed the tests, his heart pounding every second of the wait. 2 weeks later, the results arrived, and they shattered his world. Neither Ryan nor Emily were his biological children. Ethan collapsed on the floor, the papers slipping from his hands. 12 years of fatherhood, gone in an instant. He thought of every sleepless night, every dollar he worked for, every bedtime story he read, all for children who weren't even his. But the worst part? Laura knew, and she let him live a lie. That evening, Ethan confronted Laura. He placed the DNA results on the kitchen table and waited. Laura's face went pale. She stuttered, tried to deny it at first. But when Ethan pressed harder, her mask fell. "Yes," she admitted, her voice shaking. "Mark is a father. But Ethan, you've been their dad all these years. Biology doesn't matter. Love does." Ethan's rage boiled over. "Love? You robbed me of my right to choose. You let me raise children that aren't mine. You used me as your safety net while you kept your dirty little secret." Laura begged, pleaded, even tried to twist it around, saying Ethan was overreacting, that the kids still needed him. But Ethan was done being her fool. Ethan could have just walked away, filed for divorce, and disappeared. But no, that wasn't enough. Laura had taken 12 years of his life. She had stolen his trust, his dignity, his fatherhood, and now she would pay. Step one was legal. Ethan hired one of the toughest divorce attorneys in Chicago. Together, they built a case not just for divorce, but for paternity fraud. In Illinois, a man can sue for damages if he's tricked into raising children that aren't biologically his. Step two was financial. Ethan froze their joint accounts, cut off her access to his money, and secured his assets. Step three was exposure. Ethan told his family, his friends, and even Laura's parents the truth. He showed them the DNA results. Everyone was shocked. Some refused to believe it, but the evidence was undeniable. Laura's once pristine reputation shattered overnight. Neighbors whispered, friends cut ties, and even her parents sided with Ethan. Mark, the biological father, was dragged into the mess. His wife found out and she filed for divorce too. His life crumbled just as badly as Laura's. In court, Laura tried to play the victim. She cried about protecting the children and not wanting to hurt Ethan, but the judge wasn't buying it. The DNA tests were presented. The messages between her and Mark were exposed, and her years of deceit were laid bare for all to see. The court ruled in Ethan's favor. He was granted full divorce, freedom from child support obligations, and Laura was ordered to repay thousands of dollars in damages for paternity fraud. For the first time in years, Ethan felt like he had control again. Laura lost everything: her marriage, her reputation, her financial security, and even the trust of her own children. Meanwhile, Ethan rebuilt his life. He moved into a new apartment, focused on his career, and slowly began to heal. But he never looked back. To him, Laura's downfall was the justice he needed. And as for the kids, Ethan decided to step away. It was painful, but he couldn't raise children built on lies. He knew one day, when they were older, they'd learn the truth themselves. Indeed, that, my friends, is how a husband uncovered the ultimate betrayal and delivered revenge so brutal that his cheating wife's life was destroyed forever. Now, I want to hear from you. If you were in Ethan's shoes, what would you do? Would you fight back like he did, or simply walk away and leave it all behind? Backhand index pointing right. If you think his revenge was justified, then hit that subscribe button right now. Backhand index pointing right. But if you believe you have chosen peace instead, then leave a like on this video. Your choice will tell me everything about the kind of justice you believe in.